Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm a late diagnosed autistic human being from France, and I make videos about my own experience as a late diagnosed autistic person. I keep telling myself like I'm gonna make a video about this topic, I'm gonna make a video about that topic, and then I always end up picking up the camera to just journal essentially and just talk about my life and how I'm feeling. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm back filming in my office / the guest bedroom. It's a slightly different setup because I haven't moved my desk back where it was before Christmas. We had to move things around a bit for my in-laws who slept in here. So the desk isn't in the same spot, and you can see my reflection in the mirror as well as my Twilight posters. Today my hair is actually washed and clean, which is a rare occurrence in my videos, so make the most of it while it lasts. I guess I wanted to talk about the fact that I haven't been doing too well these past couple of weeks. I mean, this start of this year so far. A lot of autistic people struggle in life for whatever reasons, and a lot of us just spend a lot of our time not feeling great, and a lot of my videos is just me talking about how I'm not feeling great. So it's not anything new, but I thought I'd talk about it anyway. So it's been 10 days since my in-laws left, and I made a video, an update that I filmed a week ago basically, and I was talking about how I was like struggling with the change, going back to my normal routine, feeling kind of lost, not really knowing how to exist in my own home anymore, and also the decision I made to kind of take some distance from my in-laws because I realized the relationship wasn't very healthy, etc. That's what I talked about in my last video. Things haven't really changed since then, even though it's been a week. Still haven't found my footing yet. God knows I'm trying. I'm trying really hard to get back to my normal life and feel my normal self. But it's taking a while. It always takes a while. Like I said in my last video, that's why, big changes in life or, like stressful situations are taxing for autistic people, because we not only have to deal with the actual situation or the actual change, we also have to deal with the consequences afterwards, the aftermath, And obviously when you're in burnout, when you're more tired than usual, when you're more stressed than usual, when you feel diminished in any way, physically or mentally, then these things take an even bigger toll on you, and it takes even longer to recover. Last year, in 2024, I honestly didn't do much. I mean, I got diagnosed in early February, went on a trip to Sweden in March, and then went to see my in-laws in Switzerland in April, and then cancelled all the plans that I had because I didn't have the energy for any of them, and just rested for months. And then we moved from England to France at the end of August, and again, like I've done nothing but recuperating from that until Christmas, and then Christmas happened. So like I had like 2 or 3 big events in 2024. That was enough to completely knock the wind out of me. Is that an expression? Is that an actual thing people say? I don't know. Those 2 or 3 things I had to deal with in 2024 were enough to, like, I felt like the rest of the year when I wasn't dealing with these things, I just spent every day trying my best to recover from these things, Took me months to recover from the week I spent in Switzerland in April, which was really, really intense. And then it took me, I was gonna say it took me however long to recover from the move, but I don't think I've recovered from the move yet. And then Christmas happened, and then so now I'm recovering from that as well. And it just feels like I'm constantly playing catch up. Most people move on from these things fairly quickly. Like, I'm sure that an holistic person wouldn't still be suffering the consequences or trying to recover from a move 4 months later, you know? Like, they would be pretty settled at that point. They, you know, like, but for an autistic person in burnout, it's a lot. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it takes a lot of time to recover from things in life, and it's a bit depressing sometimes because it feels like you're wasting your life. I mean, I feel like I'm wasting my life recovering from stuff that it's not even stuff that I particularly enjoyed, you know? If I was like recovering from my dream move or a dream project or like an awesome trip I loved. No, like I'm recovering from time spent with family that didn't make me feel good, and then I'm recovering from a move that I didn't particularly choose. We kind of had to leave and didn't really know where else to go. So like, it doesn't even feel like there was a purpose to those things that I'm trying to recover from. It doesn't even feel like, all right, I'm paying the price, but at least I had a great time. No, not even that. So it's a little depressing sometimes, yeah. So these past 10 days, I've been feeling down. I've been feeling not very motivated to do stuff. I've been feeling mentally drained, in the sense that I can't tolerate much. It had gotten better towards the end of 2024, and now we're back to this place of like, I can't handle much mentally. I get like mentally overstimulated very easily. Sensory wise, it's not too bad. I'm not back to my normal state, but it's not as bad as it was in November, when I was like basically living in my sunglasses and my headphones. Physically, you know, my physical energy, a week ago in my last video I was saying that I was crossing my fingers that things would stay that way because I didn't feel too tired. It got a little worse since then. I'm a bit tired again, but I was kind of expecting that because I know sometimes there's a delayed effect. Like, I had all of that nervous energy, I guess, from being so from my nervous system being so dysregulated from all the stress of the holidays. So and I'm still trying to regulate my nervous system. I haven't been having the greatest time. I haven't been feeling the best. I feel like I've undone a lot of the progress that I made these past few months on self-care and finding ways to accommodate my needs and stuff. I struggle so much with knowing what I need, what my body needs, what my mind needs, and then actually doing those things. And I feel like I had gotten better at doing that. And now I'm back to square one. Obviously, like, it's not lost, but also I kind of have to relearn everything because I've lost my momentum, if you will. And I'm in this state of not really knowing what I need, what I want. I know that I don't feel great, but I don't know how to feel better. I don't know what to do to feel better. It's like I don't have those reflexes anymore. And I don't have a lot of drive either. I don't have a lot of willpower. So I've mostly been watching videos, YouTube videos, and watching movies and TV shows and stuff. Also, it's been really cold, so I've been trying to stay as much as possible under blankets with hot water bottles and close to the radiators, and this house is absolutely impossible to heat up and keep warm. So that's not very different from what we had in England. We thought it was gonna get better when we thought it was gonna get better coming to this house, but it's not. One of my cats also scratched his eyeball and got an ulcer for the second time in 2 months. So that's fun because he's an outdoor cat now. He goes into the garden every day for the first time of his life because he's been an indoor cat until we moved here 4 months ago. And so we were discovering the joys of having an outdoor cat, which means that he gets injured. There are higher risks of him getting parasites and stuff. So like we're learning to handle that side of things. We had to take him to the vet 2 months ago because he had like, we don't know what he did, but like he scratched his eyeball, but it was more to the side. This time it's more to the front, so it seems to be more painful for him. And it happened yesterday afternoon, and so we went to the vet this morning. We had leftover medication from 2 months ago that was still good to use, so we've been using that, and he has like a third product that we have to apply. 1 antibiotic cream and 2 types of eye drops, and he hates it, and I feel like I'm torturing him every time I give him these products, and we have to give them to him multiple times a day for at least a week, and every time it's a real struggle because he really hates it, and that's just an added stress. And I didn't have the energy to go to the vet this morning. I got up for it, I got ready for it, and then I was like, I told my partner, you're gonna have to go without me because I really don't have the energy. I'm on my period as well. I'm pretty fortunate in the sense that I've never struggled too much with my period. I don't have like particularly painful periods or anything like that, but I've noticed that since being in burnout, my periods heighten my fatigue or like burnout symptoms. So if I'm feeling particularly tired, my periods basically amplify my burnout, if that makes sense. So I'm feeling even more tired and even more emotionally dysregulated and all of that on my period than I do the rest of the time. So like I was like, this is like the worst day of the month to literally take him to the vet. Like, couldn't have happened at a better moment, but that's always how it is, right? It always happens when it's out of hours and you have to go to the emergency vet and it costs twice as much, or it happens at a really inconvenient time when you don't have the time or you don't have the energy or whatever. That's always how it is. It never happens when it's convenient for you, you know? I've just been doing not much, honestly, and feeling not great. My mood is kind of meh. My partner and I have started playing a role-playing game. It's set in a fantasy world. It's called Iron Sworn. My partner has a lot of experience with RPGs. I don't, but I've been wanting to play an RPG for a long time. The reason why I put it off was because traditionally you do it with a group of people, and I don't have a group of people to play with, and I felt too intimidated to play with people I don't know. So but then my partner found out that there are RPGs you can do solo, like on your own, or with one other person, and basically there isn't a game master per se. Like you're kind of like, both players are kind of the game master. So we've been building the world and building our characters, and we did one session 2 days ago, I think. It sucks because I was really excited for it, but I can tell that I don't really have the energy for it yet. And it's not only when I speak of energy, I don't speak only about physical energy again. I'm also talking about mental energy. You know how it is with burnout. You have this sort of brain fog where it's harder to focus, it's harder to think about things, plan things, be creative, honestly. So it's been taking a lot of energy for me to just, when I'm reading the rules of the game, for example, I have to read them 3 times sometimes to understand a single paragraph, because it takes so much mental power. Whereas on a normal basis, when I wasn't in burnout, I would have understood right away, you know? Like, it feels like my mind's not very sharp, and that's one of the things that we talk about when we talk about losing skills or skill regression in autistic burnout. Is you lose some of the skills that you normally have. It can be like knowing how to cook, knowing how to drive. Like, you can lose the ability to do certain things that you normally don't struggle with. And for me, a lot of that is mental. So, for example, I'm not able to write fiction, which used to be my main thing for most of my life. I even did a master's degree in creative writing. And because of burnout, I'm unable to write fiction. It takes too much. I don't have the resources for it. So that's been hard, trying to learn to play this game. Even though it's made to be pretty simple, it's very different from Dungeons and Dragons. The main focus is on the fiction rather than the mechanics of the games. But still, it's taken me a lot of, like, I've had to really focus to figure out how it works, and we've been taking it really slow, and I get frustrated very easily. I don't have a lot of patience, so I don't make like the best company either. No matter how much I've been wanting to do things that excite me, I've been wanting to leave the house more. The other day I was like, all right, let's go into town, because we had to pick something up, and we had a whole plan, and then I ended up canceling because I didn't feel up to it. I'm still struggling to fully accept that my burnout is probably going to take a lot longer to recover from, and it's not over yet. I don't know what I was thinking with this whole New Year thing. I thought maybe that the worst was behind me, and maybe it is, but I'm still very, very limited in the things I can do. Yeah, that's that. And so yeah, like I'm not doing much, and I'm not, like, I guess before the holidays my mood was better, so at least I had the motivation, I had the drive, the willpower to do things that I knew were gonna make me feel better. But right now I don't even have that. Okay, this is a very depressing vlog. I'm feeling similarly to how I felt after the move. So in September, took me a good month, honestly, after the move to, like I said, find my footing. Of course it was worse than right now because, like, we literally changed house, so it was there were a lot more changes. This time around it's just going back to normal life, so the transition is easier to handle, but it feels similar in the sense that for a month after we moved I felt like a total wreck. I was crying all the time, like emotionally a total wreck. Didn't know what to do with myself. Since my in-laws left, I've been feeling kind of the same, but on a smaller scale, if that makes sense. I know it's not gonna last, you know. It lasted a month after the move, so it's probably not gonna last more than like a couple weeks, which is what I anticipated. Actually, for once I was really good at anticipating that I wasn't gonna be feeling great after the holidays. Like, I knew it. I told my partner multiple times, like, it's gonna take a couple weeks. I even said it in my previous videos. So I'm not surprised, and I know it's not gonna last. I don't really know how to explain how I've been feeling. It's just a general sense of unease, like, and just low mood. I don't know, like I'm not sleeping great. I've always been a big dreamer ever since I was a child. Always had really intense, vivid dreams. I'm one of those people who can remember a lot of my dreams, and they're pretty far-fetched sometimes. And at one point I was writing down all of my dreams back when I was that motivated. you know. But lately I've been having like surprisingly intense dreams every single night, like that really take over. Like it's like I can tell that my brain is trying to process stuff, because like whatever I've been doing that day, whatever I've been watching that day comes out in my dreams in a really intense way, and my whole night is one big dream, and I keep waking up multiple times throughout the night, and I'm like continuing that dream. Every time I fall back asleep, I continue that dream. And when I'm waking up and I'm half conscious, I'm thinking and analyzing the dream, and then I go back into it. Does that make any sense? So it's not been very restful. I've not been having very restful nights. And I've been having more anxiety. I've been having more of my like OCD tendencies that I talked about back in October. So I'm seeing a pattern where I get more of my OCD tendencies. I don't know if I'm gonna call it OCD, or if it's just like, because I know that a lot of autistic people have OCD traits, and I think that's what it is for me. I don't think my OCD traits are bad enough to be diagnosed as like a separate condition. I very much think that it's a direct consequence of my being autistic, but I noticed that my OCD traits reappear or get worse when I'm going through those stressful times, when I'm trying to recover from a stressful event and trying to find my footing again and go back to my normal routine. Surprisingly, I've been watching lots of new movies. I'm a big movie person, fan, lover. I've always loved movies, and I go through phases where I am watching discovering lots of new movies, lots of new TV shows. And then I go through periods where usually when I'm not doing too well, usually when I'm in a burnout-like state, where I just rewatch things I already know, especially comfort movies, comfort shows, because it's like I know that my brain can't process new information, new experiences. I don't feel strong enough to deal with unexpected emotional triggers, like, you know. And so these past few months, I wanna say, I've been in a rewatching my comfort movies and comfort shows a lot, which is frustrating for my partner because he has ADHD, and so he likes like novelty and stuff. And in the past, when I got through those phases before we were diagnosed, he would get really frustrated. He was like, "Oh, why don't you want to watch any new stuff and stuff? We're always rewatching old stuff." And now I kind of got him used to rewatching stuff, and now he's the one proposing that we watch a comfort movie and stuff. I'm not even the one proposing it nowadays. But anyway, I even vividly remember asking a therapist like years ago. I brought it up. I was like, is it normal that I'm always rewatching the same stuff? And she was like kind of confused by my question. She was like, I mean, it becomes an issue if it takes up all of your time, which kind of is the description of a special interest, in which case it wouldn't be an issue, ma'am. But obviously she had zero knowledge about autism. But anyway, so now I don't feel as guilty as I used to about rewatching the same stuff often and not watching anything new, because I know it's very much like a need that I have for predictability and familiarity and comfort. And I give into it very much. And so these past few months, that's what I've been doing mostly. And lately, I've been surprising myself by watching lots of new movies, which were all very good, I have to say. Which is surprising, because I honestly, the things that have been coming out these past few years haven't been great. The movies that really stood out for me these past few years that I've been watching were Joker and Nimona. Those were movies that I was like, I it was like being slapped in the face. I was like, that is cinema. In the past, I used to experience that a lot more, and like most of the movies and things that came out these last few years weren't great. So I was really pleasantly surprised because things I've been watching lately have been great. I've been watching the latest Alien. I've been watching the latest A Quiet Place Day One, I think it's called. Surprisingly, a lot of horror movies. I have a kind of a complicated relationship with horror movies because there are certain types of horror movies that I can handle, and there are types of horror movies that I absolutely cannot tolerate. I have to be in a certain mindset. I have conditions and rules around horror movies. I can't just watch any horror movie. But usually when it involves a apocalypse type scenario with monsters and stuff, I'm fine with it. When it's like psychological stuff, serial killer stuff, very gory stuff, with lots of jump scares, like, no, that's not for me. But like A Quiet Place or The Witch are examples of like horror movies that I really love. Anyways, was I info dumping a bit? I think I was. I've been watching a lot of new movies, surprisingly, and I think that's because I feel like I'm stuck in a rut. I go through phases where I'm more accepting of my burnout and I'm more patient, and then I go through phases where I'm like, I'm tired of being stuck in my life, and so I try to find ways to make my life more exciting without making my burnout worse. And watching new movies is one way of doing that, but I feel like I'm reaching my limit. Like yesterday, I told my partner, I think I've been watching too many new movies these last few days, and now I need to go back to watching more like comfort movies that I already know, because that was too much new information for my brain to process. I'm gonna wrap this up. I just thought I'd film a quick update. I'm not gonna make any plans this year until I feel ready to do stuff again. Like, I'm gonna take baby steps. Like, when I feel ready, I'm gonna go into the city center and for maybe like less than an hour, and then the next time maybe we'll have lunch in town, and then the next day next time maybe we'll do like a day out in another city and take the train, and then maybe we'll spend a weekend somewhere. Like, I really want to take baby steps because I don't want to overdo it, and I'm gonna make sure I'm ready for each of those milestones before I do them. And I'm gonna try to go back to doing the things that make me feel good, the things that I need. I've been stimming so much. One of my main stims is humming. I have a lot of vocal stims, and I've been basically humming non-stop all day long these past few days. My nervous system is in desperate need of regulation. I've been doing a little bit of stretching. I've been trying to move my body, walk around the garden. But yeah, I've probably not been doing a lot of the stuff that I would benefit from, like taking sensory breaks where I get away from the noise and I close my eyes and I listen to something calming and I lay on my weighted blanket. Like, these are things that I was starting to incorporate into my daily life before the holidays that were really helping, and now I've lost that momentum, and it's really difficult for me to go back to doing that, also because of executive functioning skills that aren't great because of burnout. So even when I want to do something, I can't always do it because my brain won't let me. So yeah, it's been difficult doing the things that will help me feel better. I end up doing always the same things that probably aren't the best, because watching tons of videos and movies and stuff is very mentally stimulating, but I don't want to do anything right now. And even that I get tired of. So anyway, I'm gonna go now, administer another round of eye medication to my cat, who's gonna hate me for it and go hide in a corner. Love it. Yeah. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.